in 2021.
Spotted an old mattress by a dumpster, so I decided to go cut on it. What did I see? A bug, a ghost, Hadouken, or fairy? Again, in slow-mo. Very suspicious. Well, the point of the tests with my swords was to show two things. One, sharper does better against fabric like mattresses. And two, that certain blades cut better. Now, this falchion here has a good tip similar to a katana, but I don't have it super sharp because the blade is very thick. So it's a very apple-seeded point and a very thick blade. And as we'll see, it did not cut super well. It cut into it a little bit, but not well. I think sharpening more might help, but I think the thickness of the blade is a problem. Secondly, I decided to cut with my trusty French briquette. It has a spear point rather than most briquettes that have a hatchet point, which is more similar to a katana. And as such, cutting on this mattress, it doesn't do well at all, particularly because the point is designed better for thrusting. As you saw, it is easily penetrated, but for cutting, it's, not that great. Now, I brought the katana along. I think it's the dollar katana, actually. I can't remember. We'll see in a second. But because it is sharper than both the other blades and has better tip geometry for cutting with the tip, we see, well, in a second when I get over to the mattress again, we will see that it does far better than either. And like I said, that is in large part due to the shape of the tip, the thickness of the blade, and how sharp the blade actually is. And as you'll see when I walk over, this did much better than the other two blades. I do believe the other blades would perform much better if their edge geometry was a bit better and I put a better edge on them. But you can see that katana went through that much more easily. So, after this, I did touch up the edge of a couple of them, and I had planned to go back to the mattress and cut some more. Unfortunately, the mattress had been taken away. Maybe to the morgue, I don't know. But I decided to give some redemption attempts with the falchion and try to cut more exactly with the tip. But as you'll see, it's just the way the edge is on there is very apple-seeded. It's a very strong edge. I can hit frying pans with it with no problem, but against the fabric, it just does not cut nearly as well as the katana.
I did the best.
Not surprisingly. I'll try to show a picture of the edge of that sword and how thick it is, maybe. Okay, so this is the falchion in question with the cat's head style pommel. Short little twisty guard that I have. And as you'll see, it is sharp. It does cut. I'm going to tip the paper, you see. So what's the problem with it? Why didn't cut the mattress? Well, one is, you can see it's a fairly thick blade. But there's no distal taper. It looks like distal taper here, but that's actually just a slight false edge, you see. It's not sharpened, but it is there. It's a pretty thick blade, you see there, yeah. I can kind of get that impression. It's a pretty thick blade. That's a very apple-seeded edge I had to put on there because, well, it's about that thick the whole way through until the edge. So it's a pretty hefty blade. It's definitely heavier than I'd want it to be. It looks good. Next we have the peened. Notice that's a peen. Briquette, however you pronounce it. But on mine, unlike every other briquette I've seen, that is a spear point, and the false edge is sharp. Now again, the question is it sharp? Well, that cut well. Flip over, you see I'm holding that backwards so I can use the false edge here, and yep, it cuts also. The reason it didn't cut well is because I was doing tip cuts the entire time, and this tip, it doesn't curve up and away, it curves up and forward. And so this part forward, when you're cutting here, instead of being out of the way, like a katana tip, it's in the way and prevents penetration. So it's better at thrusting because the tip's more in line with the center of the blade, but it is less good at cutting directly at the tip. Now you can see edge drop to, and it says the edge is mostly flat and then quickly goes to a bevel at the end there. And that is not the best blade design for a thin, keen edge. It's not all that thick a blade. Although the weird thing is, you see how long the ricasso goes all the way from the hilt, whoop, almost a third of the blade before we get that secondary bevel, that bevel for the edge. Isn't that weird? Weird shaped blade briquette. Most are not like that. I've never seen one historically like that. But it's a pretty cool little sword. Anyway, just wanted to show all that. So yeah, just wanted to take a second to explain why those swords did not do good on that particular target of a soft, squishy mattress. However, they do fine on things like bamboo. And like I said, I can hit a steel, thin frying pan with either, and I haven't had any edge deformation whatsoever. No chipping, no rolling, nothing. I would not do that with the katana that I got there. One, it's a 1045 katana I was using, 1045 steel. And also because the edge is finer. Crazy blood color. The handle's a little bit lighter ox blood. This is more of a brown, but it matched nicely. I found the blade in the scabbard, and the guard and grip and pommel all scattered around in different boxes at the sale. So it's a one of a kind. I like it. It's a bit heavy. Anyway, blah blah blah, punk.
On too
Gonna
long.
kill you. Adios.
Yeah, I saw that. Don't think I didn't. It's coming. Anyway, listen, and good night, folks.